The Danish novel series Department Q has already been adapted into a series of films, but now we're getting an English language Netflix adaptation in the form of a Scottish series. Department Q stars Matthew Goode and follows the same storyline as the first novel, The Keeper of Lost Causes. So how does this remake hold up? So really, this 9-episode series is just a much longer version of the Danish movie. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, Matthew Goode as Karl Mork is just a brilliant casting job. Goode is grumpy, rude, bitingly sarcastic, but also wickedly clever. And right from the start, we get to see why he's as salty as he is, walking around just pissed off at the world. And for as much of a reluctant hero as he can be, the character never crosses the line where he becomes despicable or irredeemable. The gruffness, it's understandable, and despite his sandpaper personality, Goode is able to infuse bits of wit, even compassionate softness when it's called for. Another standout is Alexei Manvilov, playing Akram, a tech consultant who sort of inserts himself into Mork's world and into the cold case department. Manvilov is this even-keeled dude with a harried and mysterious past, but one that he freely shares even when Mork doesn't pay attention. And the way Akram complements Mork is just outstanding, becoming the necessary foil within the storyline to not only showcase Mork's eventual growth, but also the shortcomings that Mork displays because of the trauma he's working through. And I love how both characters have incredible intelligence, but they each draw from different perspectives and experiences, allowing the story to avoid having these competing similar character arcs. Now, even though the storyline does provide a ton of depth on the characters, the pacing does come across as slightly uneven as we get towards the middle of the series. Now, some of this is just because we're watching Mork relive some trauma through flashbacks or dreams. Other times, it's because we're being shown further recollections by other characters about events, even though we've already seen them. Now, sometimes these are shorter, not fully repeating this exact same length of sequence. Other times, it shows even more, making that scene longer. Now, as far as the mystery goes, this is pretty solid, and the show does an excellent job at obscuring it while also inserting the necessary misdirections. There are several plausible suspects, and even though we get some reveals before the final episode, that does not mean that the tension and suspense are diminished. As the final few episodes arrive, there's this effective sense of urgency, and that only builds once we get some of the reveals. And while there is this central case that Mork and his team are pursuing, there are other side mysteries that are at play, some of which interweave into the main arc, with others creating relevant future intrigue. And thankfully, these also didn't feel like weird tangents. Instead, they were complementary to the character building.